What's up, everybody? It's your favorite sports analyst, Jemar McKeel with,
James Jurowitz.
and this is J&J Sports. Today we got a great episode for you guys. Today we got a lot to cover, a lot of different sports. James, did you have anything you want to add before we get into this?
I'm happy to be back and looking forward to covering these topics for sure.
Yeah, definitely. It's a lot. And the first one we have to get into, it's a must, is Anthony Davis, in basketball. He just received a 3-year max contract extension with the Los Angeles Lakers. James, did you hear anything about that?
I did. That was interesting. I'm happy for him.
Yeah. Um, I am too, but it's like the thing like kind of worries me with him is like, because I mean, if we just look back at the Lakers season, they had a rough start. Um, but they was managed to turn their situation around. And Anthony Davis, he did play some key parts, but the main thing for me is just he's not consistent enough um every game. Like it'll be some games he gave 50 points a night, and then matter of fact, it was one time he was at a full streak where he was 40, 50 points a game, and then and I think that was around when LeBron got hurt. Yeah, LeBron got hurt, so he kind of stepped in. But then once LeBron came back, those points that he was, they kind of went down. Um, my first question is, when you when you hear about Anthony Davis, like what's the first thought that comes to your mind?
The very first thought was I think about what he brings as a defender, and I think that's kind of what a lot of people aren't really thinking about. I kind of see him as a player who also he's been snubbed for Defensive Player of the Year considerations. Just looking at his numbers,
Definitely.
times he's led the NBA in blocks per game. He also averaged a steal a game, and that's also pretty impressive, I thought.
Yeah.
Even during the 2022 to 2023 season, he had contested 18 shots per game on average and held opponents to 43.9% shooting.
Yeah, definitely. No, he was a key inside shooter for sure. And even when he was playing for the Pelicans, he was so effective with them too. Like he was one of their main players. Um, yeah, like honestly, as far as during like the regular season, I would say AD played his best basketball. And then kind of when the playoffs came, he he did a little less, but at the same time, he was still kind of effective. I would say if he was consistent each game, he would be top 3 player. Like he's a great player and he could give you a lot of points. He can give you a lot to the table. It's just I don't feel like he's fully dedicated, because you know how some players like Derrick Rose or any of those legends, they're dedicated to the game. And I feel like he's a good player, but he just don't have that dedicated mentality. That LeBron, because when we think of LeBron, we already know what he's gonna give us. He's gonna give us everything he got, every single game, you know, in the court. But AD is people are kind of still trying to figure him out, you know, at times because it'd be times where he get hurt a lot, and we expecting this from this game, but then he gives us this, and then out of nowhere he just comes and gives us 50. So it's kind of hard to tell with him. But my second question was, do you think he deserves that much money? The 3-year max, 183 million.
Well, I mean, that's a good question because considering his health, as you had mentioned, that's been a major factor in why he hasn't really been there
Yeah.
100% for his team. And that's kind of the big question. He's averaged 20 games a season, missing those. So
Yeah.
he's got to do what he can to try and stay healthy, I think that's probably his biggest concern coming up, especially for this next
Yeah.
season.
Mm,
But
yeah.
I think he definitely deserves that money. Kind of going back to what he brings on defense. Look at what the Lakers did to the Warriors there in the playoff.
Yeah.
I mean
Oh yeah.
that shows
No,
something.
they
So
no, it definitely shows something, and I'm not even gonna lie. I'm gonna give him his credit. He did come through. If we just look at Anthony Davis' stats right quick from last season, what he averaged 25 points, he had 12 rebounds, 2 assists. So I mean, by himself coming with that like that, that's pretty good for just a player. So I'm gonna give him his credit. It just I want to see that consistency next season from him. I want to see him do that, dominate everybody each game. And the Lakers are gonna be a problem. If he could do that, the Lakers with LeBron and LeBron don't have to do that much, they're gonna be a problem. Um, and then my last question was, is it gonna be more effective for LeBron to possibly get a ring? Let's just say if Anthony Davis was playing effective each game.
I think so. If he misses, let's say, 2 games or 3 games this season, then I think that puts the Lakers in a great position to go ahead and try and win another championship.
Definitely. I feel like because we have to realize like once if LeBron decides to retire after this season or the next, Anthony Davis is going to be the leader. He's going to be the next up. I mean, do you feel like he could fulfill that leader role after LeBron leaves? Because he has a 3 year, and let's just say LeBron leaves within a year or two. Do you feel
Having
like,
spent so much time with LeBron and getting to know his game and all of that, I think he definitely has what it takes. But
yeah,
it's just, I guess, a question of what the Lakers are going to look like post LeBron. And
right, exactly. And they still don't have a point guard. We still don't have a point guard yet that we can really say is rely on. So it's just like AD, that's gonna be the one that they point at next. Like, okay, we need you to take over. And he definitely can. He definitely has the skill. He has the physicality. He has a lot of things. It's just can he them I think his mental is not like just locked in all the way. But if he can get locked in like that, yeah, he's one of my favorite players to watch though, definitely. They definitely needed him when they was playing against the Nuggets. Like they needed him, even though they had Jokic and he's a pretty tall dude. I feel like AD could have came in for that.
I agree. And now that the money's out of the way, maybe he'll just be able to focus on basketball and
Exactly.
have to
Yeah,
think about the contract.
exactly. Now that the money is, they're keeping him on, which I knew they were going to do that anyway. I mean, wh- nobody would get rid of Anthony Davis. I mean, look at his size, about 6'8", 6'9". Nobody's getting rid of that. It's just,
He's also one of the faces of the Lakers franchise. I mean, that's the second player I think of when I think of current Lakers at the moment.
yeah,
LeBron
yeah.
James. So.
Like nobody, like okay, yeah, you got a couple other players, like you got Russell, you got all those dudes, but they're not nearly as important as Anthony Davis. Definitely not. He's like the face. He's the face. So it's just like they're gonna be looking at him. All the fans, everybody, they're gonna be looking at you like, bro, we need you, to really tap in and get in LeBron mode. I'm gonna just say that. Yeah. But no, I mean, if he could do that for this upcoming season, man, they looking pretty good, and they still got LeBron. They probably have a few more other new people. So yeah,
If he doesn't perform, do you think that this is the probably the biggest contract that he's going to sign for the rest of his career at this point? Or
um, that's a good question. Honestly, I don't know. I feel like it could be because I feel like at this point, a lot of people are going to start to question him. Like they're seeing that he's not coming through. I mean, after a while, it's like they're not gonna just keep handing you money. Like honestly, am I like as far as like Draymond Green, for example, he did not deserve all that money. I'ma just be honest with you. He didn't make players leave. He didn't been in no. I understand. And then he's older now. So it's just like I don't think he deserved all that, but like I said, you know, that's I can't tell them how to run their business and their organization, but yeah. But we'll see. We'll definitely see about that. I'm not sure. Um I mean, how do you predict their like this upcoming season? How do you predict it's gonna be? Let's just say if, you know, let's just based off like how everything's going, what do you think?
I think that they're going to make the postseason for sure. They will be in the playoffs, and I think they'll definitely at least win a game.
Yeah,
Go through, and then it just depends on what the West looks like at that point.
yeah,
As the
true.
season is starting to end and we're getting close to the playoffs, you know, who's the top teams in the West, and then also, what's going on in the East, and you got to think about who you're going to have to eventually face off if you make it to the finals.
Definitely. I feel like the Nuggets could definitely come back. They were so effective. And we got to think about it. That was their first championship, I believe, right? In a while. So I feel like that's momentum for them. They can definitely come back and like that, I feel like.
That's the team that the Lakers are going to have to knock out. Then it sounds like if they
Early. They need to bring pressure on them early in the season because if not, man, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be another one of these situations. And now look, the Celtics, their team is about to be washed. I mean, if we being honest, they got rid of their defensive players. I mean, defensive starters too. That's the thing. It wasn't even like backup. It's starter players. Um, I don't know. We'll see. But I predict that too. I think they'll do pretty good. They're still a good team. I'm surprised when they beat Golden State like that. It's like, wow. That kind of that's what made me realize, okay, Golden State, they're not the same team that 2016 team that we watched, you know, over the time. But yeah,
it's
we'll see.
identities now, I guess, across like teams, and we'll get used to it. But then I guess as soon as all the fans start getting used to it, the teams will change again, and it's kind of. Would you say the NBA's got that copycat league mentality of people trying to like copy maybe the formulas of other teams?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's just ran crazy now. Like at first, it was, you built your team off of loyalty. You expect like teams to be loyal, players to be loyal to certain teams, but now people are just leaving, going here because they feel like this person they can match up with, and it's a lot. It's a lot, but we'll see. We'll definitely see. I hope he can be effective for them this upcoming season, and I'm gonna still have faith for him because he's a beast. He's definitely a beast. Um, but next up we got baseball.